Okay, everybody, how are we doing? Hopefully everything's looking okay on your guys' end. How we doing? I'm Dan Fowler, the Imagination Engineer, if you have never heard of me before. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Most of you know who I am, and that's all good. And I think I just had my audio come through there double there, so I think I fixed that. Anyway, hey guys, it's a pleasure to be with you guys all here today. I'm looking forward to this quick training, and hopefully it'll give you a little spark in some of your ideas on how you can bring your awesomeness and your mojo more powerfully into the world. I mean, this world, at least at this stage of the game, is run off of, especially commerce-wise, some sort of revenue, money, whether you like Bitcoin, whether you like dollar bills, whether you like some other exchange. There's this thing we call money, or your currency of some sort, and it has to be generated, has to be acquired in ways. And for those of us in business, we are looking for ways to acquire more revenue without destroying ourselves and overwhelming our senses and all of that stuff. And I know there's products out there and systems out there to help optimize you so you can do more, which is great, but do more to what end? Do I always have to constantly do more to keep catching up? And what if it could be easier? What if it could have a sense of ease and have an easier way of approaching how you make money, how you bring in income? And a lot of people talk about income streams, and I guess I talk about it in a little bit different kind of way. So what I'm going to be showing you guys today is my take on multiple streams of income and how to look at that diversification model and why you should do that, and how you can, relatively quickly, if you want to, go from where you are to making multiple 6 figures, 7 figures as well, even multiple 7 figures too, depending on how far you want to take it. And it all comes down to the way in which you structure the processes of gathering income and currency and all that good stuff. So, sound fun? For those of you who are on the chat here, hey, go ahead and say something in there. Make sure you let me know that you can see me. Make sure that that's A-OK. Doing okay. Just go ahead and make a shout out there in the chat box. So just to make sure we're A-OK and jumping on that. If you could do that for me, that'd be fantastic. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be opening up a few windows here. So you'll see my eyes kind of traveling all around and looking at stuff. So I'm doing that because I want to make sure I got everything ready here to show you. And we'll have some fun going through this, hopefully. Let me go ahead and pull up our training room page here. Make sure we're A-OK. Everybody's there. Okay. Looks like we're doing pretty good here. So go ahead and use the chat box there. I'd love to see let me know if there's any specific questions throughout the whole process too. If you've got questions about what I'm talking about, it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you do have questions, type them in the chat there, because I can see it while I'm going through the process here. I can take a look at it, and we can make that all work. Hey, guys, how you doing? So Jerry's there. Hey, Jerry back, Green, Lorna, Christy. Awesome. We're good to go. Okay. So let me go ahead and jump into this then. Let me drop this down, and I'm going to go ahead and change my screen over here to this presentation that we can kind of go through together. So here we go. Okay. So here, the 6 streams of income, I call it an ecosystem. Some of you probably kind of recognize this configuration. It's a morph of my Manifest on Demand Metatron's Cube. Everything I do is centered around the Metatron's Cube, or known as the Merkava Cube. It's a very powerful, energetic system, and it will help you with your 6 streams of income as well. Kind of funny how this all works. And it's helped me. I mean, I used to be going client to client as well, one-to-one client to one-to-one client, and thinking, okay, I need to go find some more clients now because I need more what? I need more money. And now I don't think of it like this, because I don't need more money. I'm looking for more people to help, and I'm able to do things in a more powerful, more easy, less stress, less desperate way. And I want to be able to give you this insight as well, because the more people on this planet that have more ease in their business game, especially around money, they're going to be able to do a lot more things when it comes to helping this planet. Well, you call it wake up. You can call it be change for the better. There's got to be change agents, and those that have resources. It doesn't always have to be money, but those that have resources are able to do this more effectively, fluidly, and easily. Money is a big, big component as a resource in the world that we live in. So why fight it? Why go? Why, I'm not going to go live in a hut somewhere and say I don't need money. Well, okay. I mean, you can do that if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's actually kind of cool sounding. However, for those of you who are entrepreneurs and are change agents of some sort and are here to perceive differently and receive differently, you need resources in order to be able to execute differently in your business, in your relationships, in your life, and that's what this is all about. Okay. So here we go. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the happy birthday. I appreciate that. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to this next slide here. There are six major, I guess, components to what I do, and I'm just going to show you some of the things that I do. I actually have more than 6 these days. I actually have about, I think probably almost three of these Metatron cubes filled with 6 streams in them each. But you don't need that. I mean, once you get to the point of having multiple streams of income, multiple 7 figures, you're going to start having multiple Metatron cubes with your 6 streams going on as well. So I just wanted to let you know it's not like you have to do exactly what I do, but I'm going to give you kind of some examples of what I do. So maybe that'll help you guide your next project, your next system, the next program that you do, so it can be more in line with creating revenue streams that kind of work for themselves. All right. So I'm going to go through the six major ones that I do, and I do different variants of these in different capacities, but these are the basic major categories. And maybe you do these too, and maybe you don't do some of these that you might want to consider doing. Okay. So the first one that I do up here is online courses. So I create online courses, not just for myself, but some of you know that I actually help an architect become an architect, a curriculum architect for other people too. I help them craft their courses and help them sell them. And really help the course sell itself through deep positioning, and we'll go through that term in a little bit. But online courses are a very, very powerful thing, because these days it's not just able to be consumed via your desktop, but you can consume online courses on your pad, on your phone, whatever device you want, wherever you want, whenever you want. And these are powerful, powerful tools, not only to teach and educate, but also to create revenue as well. We'll go into more details on that in a minute. The next one I do is I do a lot of VIP days. So some of you may be doing VIP days. Anybody in the room here do VIP days now? I think probably a couple of you do. I'm hoping a couple of you do. If you do, just type in the text there in the chat box. I couldn't. Text in the chat box. There we go. There it came out. If you do VIP days, because this is something that if you're not doing now, you could be doing right away. Honestly, you could totally be doing VIP days right now. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. All right. The other one that I do is live virtual trainings. So kind of like this, this is live. I'm not pre-recorded here, but I am doing a coaching or kind of a coaching type of deal, more like a training. I guess it's less coaching, more training. And that's actually the next item here. These two kind of go hand in hand. So this is really like a live virtual training. But live virtual coaching is like if I'm working with one-to-one clients or in groups. I do a lot of that actually. And a lot of you are probably wondering, or maybe you're new to my universe, you're wondering, well, where are all these virtual coaching packages and where can I find them and that type of thing, because I don't promote like that. I'll explain a little bit later, but I'll just share right now is that I don't promote all of my ways for people to access my mojo publicly. I create deep positioning, well, I call them gravity wells, for the right kinds of people to drop into them, to be sucked into, be attracted to, law of attraction here. And then I unveil to them the ways in which we can work together. I don't go and say, here's my big buffet, where a lot of coaches and trainers do, and pick the thing that works best for you. And, if you're this, that, and the next thing, you should buy my thing. There's nothing wrong about that. It just never, ever resonated with me. I never buy that way, me personally. Like if somebody's trying to do that to me, I'm like, nope, I'm done. And I move on. I want to be kind of like courted. I want to be courted. And if somebody has interest and they show some interest, then I show some interest back, and so on and so forth. And I court someone very, very customized, depending on what their needs are, what they're actually looking for. And that's how it works. I mean, that's how my live events work too, is that I do not like have an official offer or pitching at my live events. Some of you have experienced this. And a lot of people like scratch their heads going, well, how does Dan make money? I made actually lots of money at Imagination IQ just a couple of weeks ago because I was just me. And I showed up as, hey, there's more pieces to this onion, more layers to be revealed here. And those that felt me, and that's the key thing, those that feel me, they want to go a little deeper with me, however deep that goes. And I had several people going, I'm ready to be one of your awesome, super duper VIP clients. And I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. And then we went on from there. Okay, here's the next thing. Boom. DFY Services. Now I have lots of these too. And there's another thing is I don't promote publicly. I rarely promote publicly because DFY, it stands for Done For You. Done For You services. And so Done For You services are like, whether it's media production, because I still have my production company. It's been osmosis into my big company, which is the Imagination Institute. And so when it's appropriate, my clients see that, okay, we did all the strategic stuff, we did all the spiritual stuff, we did all the mindfulness stuff. Now we're ready to create something that fits along the lines of this plan. And now I'm going to have to hire some people because not everybody's an expert in those things. Well, we've already built the trust. We've built the relationship. And now we are a one-stop shop. We have all that stuff in-house to produce like online courses, the videos that go with them, all audio podcasting. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of actual collaterals that we create. Graphic design, another one. So on and on and on. We have virtual imagination assistant programs, things like that. But I don't bring those up unless it's appropriate, unless it's an instant yes, unless that person is just ready. There's no real big thought about it. But DFI services are definitely something that you can consider. Maybe you provide a done for you service and that you can leverage more effectively. And the last one here, I do licensing and certification. There are other programs that I am working on developing to put more of these together. But right now, the big one that I just finished a few weeks ago was the accumulation of all the licensing and certification stuff for my gamification mastery. This is to teach entrepreneurs how to gamify their marketing, gamify their live events, gamify their funnels, to have multidimensional funnels, not just linear funnels, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff within that process with all the forms, with all the systems, with all the checklists, how to make cool video scripts. I mean, the list goes on and on of what you would be certified in, as well as the option and the ability to license all of my material to go use it, not only for your business, but to go teach other people if you wanted to. So we just launched all that. A few other ideas have come to mind. I think, well, actually, Manette, you were the one that you and Shannon were talking about certification for the Manifest on Demand program. That's definitely a big possibility. it was just not, at least in our production schedule, it just wasn't happening right now. But I can see that happening probably before the end of the year. And that would be going into one of my pieces here. Okay, so all this is fine and good, right? All this is good. Maybe you do all of these. Maybe you don't do any of these. But I'm going to highly suggest to you that you do at least a few of these, at least. And, maybe you do multiples, like the online courses. Maybe you've got one cool online course. Maybe you need to do another one. Maybe you need to have two. Maybe you need to have three. But I'd probably stop it at that. Some people put all their eggs in one basket and say, I'm doing all online courses. And then 2-3 years down the road, something changes in the industry with online courses, and then it destroys their business. I've seen this with other things too, like with social media, with ads. It's happening right now in the demonetization of YouTube. If you don't have 1,000 subscribers to your YouTube channel and you don't have 4,000 hours worth of viewership in a 12-month period of time, you cannot monetize your videos and use Google AdSense and make money off of ads. That blew a ton of YouTube creators out of the water, and they were relying on that ad revenue. YouTube can do whatever the heck they want, and you're using their platform to do so. So be careful. Be careful with where you put all of your eggs in the basket, and be careful on how you kind of structure this whole process. Diversify a little bit, just like with investing. If you guys do any kind of investing or you know about investing, diversify the portfolio, right? You've heard this before. Very, very simple. But diversify your business portfolio too. Now, I'm not saying do a bunch of different businesses. That I think is ridiculous. Do the same business. Diversify the way in which you express that business. And I'll say that again. Do the same business, but diversify the way in which you express that business. Now, what we're looking at right now on the screen are 6 ways that I express my business. I express my expertise, express my way in which I serve people. Okay? And you can do the same. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to this next slide here. We're going to do some math. Math. It's all about the numbers, guys. How do we make this simple? How do you make this simple? How do you make it easy? How do you make it go like, oh, that's a whole lot easier to get to 7 figures than I thought it was. I don't have to beat my head against a brick wall, right? Okay, so simple math. We're going to do some simple math. And I'm only going to take one of these tracks, one of these, whatever you want to call it, expression tools, and kind of explore that for the rest of this webinar. So you can kind of get an idea, but you can do the math anywhere at any time for anything. The same math will apply, okay? So this is a sheet. I'm actually going to give everybody that came on today, I'll know in my tracking stuff who came on. You'll get access to this. It's actually a worksheet too, like a PDF worksheet that you can type in the numbers and figure out very easily in 6 easy little steps what it's going to take to create an income stream. Now let's do our math. Let me pull up the calculator here. I'm going to put it right here, the smack in the middle. If we have 6 streams of income, who can do the math maybe on their end? I'll wait a little bit here. We got 6 streams of income. How much money do we need to have coming in on each one of those income streams in order to hit $1 million? Who can tell me that? How much do we need? Pull out your calculator on your phone, pull out your calculator on your computer like I've done here. So I've got 6 streams of income, right? So let's do the 6 times how many dollars. So we'll just do this in dollars. How many dollar bills do we need times 6 to equal $1 million? Anybody can tell me? Get the answer there and plop it into the text chat. Right? So if we had 4 streams, it'd be 250,000, right? Then 6 streams, right? Or you can go the other way. The easy way to be go on 1 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Divided by 6, right? There you go. So 166,600, blah, 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 all those sixes in there. But I guess it's kind of appropriate. Today's June 6th, and it's the 6th month. All right. There you go. That's a crazy number. So that's just straight moolah. That's not taking into account expenses, taking into account taxes or whatever else, right? So if we added 30, 35% on top of that, I'll do the quick math for you here. But ultimately, I want a revenue stream. Oops, let me clear that out. I want a revenue stream that's $250,000. Okay, pretty simple, and that's an easy number to remember too. I want a revenue stream that's $250,000. Now, if I times that times 6, right, that's 1.5 million. 1.5 million. Now, granted, if you're bringing in 1.5 million, you've got expenses. You're probably going to be flying places, going to events, doing whatever you're going to do. Or you're going to be using some of that money for savings or investing or charitable or whatever it is, and taxes. Most people tell you about numbers and then they don't talk about the taxes. I want you to have take-home pay of 6 figures, not my income. My revenue stream was 7 figures, but then at the end of the day, I'm walking away with, $600,000, $700,000. Now that sounds like a lot of money. I get it, but we want 7 figures and we want that to be maintained. So plan into it. If you're not planning into it, all these other expenses and numbers and taxes and all that good stuff, then, you're probably going to be selling yourself short. So I like to do the math and up ahead of time to know what I need to do to have everything covered. And this is pretty close to having it all covered. So I want $250,000 per revenue stream. That's what I want. And that'll take care of pretty much everything. And I'd walk home with $1 million by the end of the year, right? With 6 income streams. So let's 250,000. I don't know what you guys make. Hopefully you guys are making over 6 figures. Maybe some of you aren't, and that's okay too. And not everybody starts there, and not everybody ends there either. However, to maintain this from a number standpoint is what this worksheet's all about. So I'm going to close this. Here it is. Here's the worksheet. Real easy. So what we need to do is track, kind of like we're tracking backwards on figuring out the price of a program or an online course or whatever it's going to be. For this example, we're going to talk about an online course. An online, I would say, subscription, membership type course, meaning that it's not just an easy $97 or $100 course they buy. This is something that's ongoing, that is like dripped to them. This is what I suggest to my clients, to build robust drip campaign online courses, and I help people build those things and how they're structured, and all the emails and all the loyalty programs that go along with it. Okay, so I'm going to be using that model about an ongoing online course that maybe even has some personal connection from you. Doesn't have to, but an online course that is evergreen, which means the term evergreen means you've created it once and then it can be launched or sold over and over and over and over again, replicated over again without you recreating anything. You can sell it multiple times over again and again and again. We want an evergreen online drip campaign type of setup. That's what I'm going to base this on. And when you have this, you can do some amazing things, especially with the revenue standpoint. And of course, get your great content out there, get your great educations out there, change some people's hearts and minds and help them out. That's what I'm doing this for, because I like doing this stuff for free too, because people need to see that it actually is easier, and I don't have an agenda. I've got stuff to offer, but I don't have an agenda with you guys. Okay, so here it is. Money per person times time interval equals the program cost. Okay, so I typically like to think about a drip campaign online course, evergreen course, as something that is, let's do the time interval first. Let's just go with, 12 months. That's easy, right? An online program, 12 months. It can be whatever you want it to be. It has all these online components. It could have connection to you, meaning they have one-on-one time with you or calls with you or however you want to work that out. Or it doesn't have to have that. That all depends on what you're talking about, what you're teaching, what you're selling. But let's just say this program has a 12-month duration and time interval. All right. So how much do I need to charge, or do I want to charge for each of those months? For the total program, right? Now, there's a lot of programs out there that are, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000. They have some in person, a lot of in person, whatever it is, whatever the mixture is, whatever numbers you feel right with is going to be fine. However, I'm going to show you some numbers that are just easy and almost no-brainer, because if people don't want to jump into these numbers, they're probably not your clients. They're probably not the right clients for you. And I would say don't compromise, any lower than this. Now you can if you have a huge list or something like that, or people that are just loving things and love it at a lower price, you might be able to pull this off. But I'd say for me, I would say it's about $250. So $250 per person per month. Okay, so we're just talking about one person right here. So they're paying $250 on subscription, on membership, to have access to this community, have access to the evergreen content, and maybe in some cases access to you too, depending on how you want to set up the program. That's up to you. For 12 months, right? So let's do the math. 12 times 250, well, that's pretty easy, right? For 12 months, that's $3,000. And if you want me to do the calculator again, I'll do it just for you can see the math, right? So 12 times 250, boom, 3,000. That's 3,000 in the year, realize now. Now that's a very, very, very extremely doable package. I'm going to move this out. Extremely doable package for pretty much anybody that really wants to work with you. And if they can't do that at $250 a month, equaling 3,000 in the year, then they're probably they're not ready for you yet. And that's okay. And I'm doing the low ball numbers here. You can make these numbers go up if you want. But for this example, we'll use the $3,000. Now, if you see this arrow here shooting down from total program cost down to cost per person, guess what? We filled in another spot here because it's the exact same number. So cost per person is $3,000. So what's our money goal? We just went through that. Our money goal is $250,000, right? That's our, I can just put 250K, probably be easier to see here. 250,000 is our money goal for this stream. And we're going to divide by 3,000 of the actual cost. So there it is. Let me go and click this out. So 250,000, right? Divided by 3,000 is the total cost of the program. This will tell us how many people we need. There it is, 83.333. So I'm just going to round up. I'm going to round this up to 84. Okay. 84 people. Now, I'm just showing you this because we quickly figured out how we could create $250,000 in the year with one income stream, with one course, and we need 84 people to do it. 84. Now, of course, there are things to go, well, how do I get those 84 people? Well, if you're sitting behind your computer and hiding behind there all day long and hoping that your magical meme on Facebook is going to get you a client, you're probably not going to hit that 84. However, 84 is not a huge number. It's pretty low. Let's just talk about 84 for a minute here. 84. If we want to bring that up, maybe you had a ramp-up campaign that was going to take, I don't know, let's say 4 months, right? So how many people per month would we need? Well, we got 84. We did divided by 4. We need 21 people per month. That's really not that hard to do, especially with this kind of a low ball number of $250 per month for $3,000 for that kind of thing. That's even being behind your computer. You could probably do, with Facebook ads and that type of thing. And I've generated, 80 to 100 people with a Facebook ad with my eyes closed. That's pretty easy. However, most of you are networkers. Most of you go to events. Most of you have either you are speaking or you have aspirations to speak on stage. Just imagine if this was your offer on stage. Boom, $250 a month for 12 months. Boom, they're done. That could be an offer on stage. Maybe it's a place where you're not offering anything on stage. In the sense, like with IIQ, there are no official offers. However, you probably have a table. Well, you do have a table at IIQ. And you're able to talk with people going, this might be a good option for you. Maybe you're setting up discovery calls and showing them, hey, I can help you do X, Y, and Z. And you're going to need some time to do it. It's not going to be something that is in 3 months and we're done. And I only work with people who work with me on the long haul. However you want to frame that. There's ways in which you can do that in your sales tactics, etc. But 84 people. Now this is for one income stream, one online course that's a drip campaign. And you're thinking, well, I don't have an online course. I don't know how to create one. Well, there are people out there, including myself, that can help you do that and help you create one online course that can create a income stream all by itself that you don't have to manage. Now, I have multiples of these online courses like this, and a lot of them are more than $250 a month. Most of mine are in this range. They're $500 a month, 12 months minimum. So this doubles this number immediately. Doubles this, obviously. So $250K, boom. Well, it's pretty much half of this. So it's really 42 people. So I need 42 people in the year who do an evergreen program with me. Maybe they get a little bit of time with me. And in some of my programs, a lot of my programs, I do that. They get this. They get my program for $500 a month, and they're spending $6,000 in the year. And then I'm like, well, where do I find people that have that kind of money? Well, a lot of entrepreneurs have that kind of money, as well as corporate. I also work with corporate, going into corporate packages and saying, hey, we can train your whole team. You can train your whole team. Your team has, let's say your team has 8 people in it or 10 people. Let's make the math easy. 10 people in it. Normally I do $500 per person, but if we're going to do a group deal, I'm going to knock that down to, let's say, 4 times 12. There's the 48 and so on. We do the numbers here, but you're timesing that time. You got 10 people in your group right off the bat. You do all the math and change all those numbers up, etc. So play with these numbers. You'll be getting a link in your email after this webinar and such to get this download sheet and play with numbers in here. Now, I also do 6-month programs and also 3-month quick little in and out stuff too. You can test this out in small numbers. However, I don't typically call those income streams like ongoing income streams I can count on. I create online programs and membership stuff that is subscription based. So every month they're being billed. Their credit card is being billed. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't have to think about it. The only time I have to think about it, or I guess my staff has to think about it, is if somebody's credit card doesn't go through, then of course that's dealt with. And that happens. People's credit cards expire, or maybe they lost it and they had to get a new one. They forgot to tell you about it. Those things happen. But that's the normal cost of business too. So that's why we always have a conservative number that's way higher than the revenue of hitting $1 million in revenue. I want $1 million in income, not revenue. Revenue is everything coming in. Income is what you are left with. So I want income, $1 million in income, not in revenue. Okay. Guys, you have any questions with this so far? I mean, pretty darn simple, right? Now, let me go back to that slide up here. Now, that was just one. That was an online course. If you've got questions, please type them into the chat there, or if you've got comments, I'd love to hear them. Maybe you've got, you don't have an online course. Maybe you're just starting out and you're doing, a lot of one-to-one services. You got that VIP day, or maybe the virtual coaching, over Zoom or over Skype or whatever service you use to do coaching, to do working with people, doing readings, whatever it is you do. You can do that virtually these days. There is no real excuse for it. You can get a pro Zoom account for $15 a month. I mean, there's no excuse for that. If you don't have Zoom and you're not using it virtually, then you should be. Because with $15 a month, and you could be generating packages and programs that people are getting serviced all around the country for you. Let's see. Ann says it is really simple, especially with the way you bring. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It can be. I think the industry clouds this because they're afraid that you'll become too successful. And yeah, I just said that. They're afraid you'll become too successful, and then you don't need them or their stuff anymore. And I'm going to say that's crazy. There's 7.5 billion people on this planet, and there's no reason why any of you in this call can't go international like now and have international clients everywhere. Just think about the amount of people that are in your state, maybe even in your county. There's a lot of people in your county, and a lot of people just there in the county that you live in, wherever that is, that can fuel your business for long, long periods of time. And you don't need that many people. I mean, ultimately, let's say you had a something that was $250 a month for 12 months, and it takes 84 people to do it, right? I'm just going to do the math really fast here. So 84 times 6. So you need 504 people for all 6. Like, let's say they were all 6 online courses. I don't suggest doing that because then that's putting all the eggs in one basket. But let's just say, for example, you had all these online courses and they were all $250 a month for 12 months, $3,000 a year, 84 per people per year, yet you need for each of those streams. Well, times that times 6, that's 504 people. That's it. And that's why what I don't understand why people are saying, oh, got to build your list to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Well, if your list of thousands and thousands and thousands of people aren't responding to the information you're sending to them, then why have a list of thousands and thousands and thousands of people? If your list is only converting or have click-through rates, let's call it that, at 1 to 3%, then it's time to start whittling them out. I do a purge every single quarter. Every quarter, I do a purge on my list of people who have not done anything in the past 6 months. And it's not like, oh, they got busy. Well, great. I believe it. I believe they got busy. I don't believe that they don't like me anymore, dislike me. They never unsubscribed. Great. But they're not active. And why should I be spending money to send them something that they're really not interested in engaging with? It's really not for them anymore. I became obsolete to them. Wonderful. Thank you. Because now I can open up room energetically as well as technically for new people who want to go deeper into the rabbit, who want that stuff, who want to move forward in the directions that I'm going and that you're going too, guys. So 500 people, 504 people. Okay. But if you had 500 people, I don't think you'd be crying. 500 people, 504 people doing $250 a month for 12 months. That's really not that difficult to do, even by yourself. Now, a lot of my trainings too, when I work with clients, I teach them how to create strategic alliances, strategic alliance partners, if you will. Some people call it joint venturing. I think joint venturing, the way the entrepreneurial world uses that term, is incorrect. That's not true joint venturing. However, I won't get into that here. I call them strategic alliances because we both have our businesses, but we both cross over. It's like one of those enneagrams, right? It's where the crossover happens, where the magic is, where we all cross over in the middle and we're able to do some cool things together. And that's where community is driven. And then there's also stuff that we do by ourselves. So it's not just me promoting you and you promoting me. There's an ecosystem around that community too. That's a whole nother topic. But when you start getting other people involved in helping you build your 6 streams of income, look out, because then it becomes a self-sustaining. That's why I call it an ecosystem. It becomes a self-sustaining entity. And then all I have to do is continue to feed the beast, continue to feed the entity. If people drop off, I fill them back up. Now, of course, if you're at 0, it's going to take you a little longer to build this up. It took me probably 2 years to get to get to 12 streams of income. It took me about 2 years to do that. And some of those are online courses, some of those VIP days, etc. They're a mix mash and different things I'm adding in. One thing I did not put in here was live events. That is a definite revenue generator for me, but it's not something that is a residual, ongoing, monthly deal by itself. What comes out of it? Yes, I get clients out of Imagination IQ and my gamification summits, and those are usually monthly type arrangements, some sort of retainer arrangement or subscription arrangement. But I didn't put it in here because the event itself isn't generating that, if that makes sense. So I wanted to be like really, really clear. Pick them. Pick one. And I'd say if you're not at the multiple 6-figure level yet, and I'll say yet because it's right around the corner if you want it, then start with just one. Just start with one of these income streams. It doesn't have to be mine up here per se, but maybe it's an online course for you. Maybe it's a VIP day for you. Maybe it's a virtual coaching or training or something like that. Or maybe you have DIY or DFY services. If you do, then start thinking about how you can create them into subscription packages. If you need help with that, I do that. I do that kind of thing. If you want that kind of help or you want that kind of support and coaching and training on how to create all the interwoven connected pathway pieces to make something like this, I definitely do that. And so, in your emails too, after this presentation, you'll get it too. But my one-to-one stuff is called Imagination Engineering. And if you're wanting to take those ideas that you have, maybe some ideas that I helped spark in this webinar today, and you're wanting to go to that next level, I can definitely help you with that. I do it all the time. This is one of my, just to be totally transparent, this is my, kind of like, they're not like VIP days, but they're like the live virtual coaching / training, if you will, but mainly coaching. You're working directly with me and it's one-to-one. It's not group stuff. So we're working on your stuff. And we're doing, I do segments of three sessions, 6 sessions, 12 sessions with this. And I make it real, real simple. So they're 90-minute sessions with me. 3 sessions, 6 sessions, 9 sessions. You're going to get a link to be able to go learn more about becoming an imagination engineer yourself, because it's a way in which you process information. Those of you who came to Imagination IQ, you saw this happening. You saw this work, at least the tip of the iceberg of this work. And in the Imagination Engineering one-on-one stuff, we go deeper into the Metatron's Cube, how to manifest on demand, and of course, applying that directly to your business and of course, your income streams too, which they all are tied together. All are tied together. What I'm going to do right now too, if you want to not have to wait for that email that comes out automatically because you registered for this, I'm going to go ahead and put this link right here into the text chat. If you want to go see it, you can go ahead and click on it right there if you'd like. And if not, that's okay too. I just want to make sure that you know that I'm here and available for that kind of support. You can check out the pricing there too. I won't talk about that here. I'm not a big guy on having to convince you of anything. So if this is something that was awesome and cool for you, I'd love to be able to talk more about that. If you want to set up a call and be able to chat with me, I'll be glad to do that too. Most of you are connected to me on Facebook. Most of you have my email address. If you don't, I'll go ahead and type my email address in here too, just in the chat box. And then you guys can all have it. And don't be shy. You can talk to me about pretty much anything. And if I don't know it, if I don't know the answer, then I will give you links and resources to others that can be your guide. But I have many, many years of experience when it comes to the technical stuff. And that's the stuff that's all behind the scenes that must be there in order to create some of these ease factors, right? Creating an automated system that works for you, that you don't have to find really that many people to connect with. Why should I go the shotgun approach when I can go the laser focused approach and get people who are really on fire for what I'm doing and what I'm up to? You can do the same as well for your stuff, no matter what it is. And I like online courses. That's why I talk about them a lot. And I like building those for clients and building ecosystems and empires online for people. But if that's not your thing, that's cool too. I was media production guy. That was tangible, build a product, for a long, long time. And I still build products today, whether it's a board game, whether it's mobile apps, whatever that may be for you. We have expertise on how to strategically align that with your brand, be able to tie it in with maybe other strategic alliance partners that are around you right now that you're not seeing, that are right there ready to work with you, that could maybe catapult your business too. Could be possible. I want to open it up for more questions here too. Was there any other questions about or wanted me to go through and touch base on anything else I talked about today, maybe going a little more in depth, I'd be glad to do that. And if there aren't any questions, that's okay too. And this video will be available for replay too. After, I think it's about an hour afterward or so, you can go ahead and grab it. And says, when we do these sessions, will it help us flesh out our 6 streams, even if they seem disjointed to some? Yes. Disjointed streams. This is about, thank you for bringing this up, because that's what I forgot to say about deep positioning. I'm going to go back to the slides real quick just to show you what I mean by this. Let's do this. Let me go back to this top slide here. Okay, so if you have all these income streams that seem disjointed, there will be a filtering process, and you and I would go through this filtering process first of going, okay, what income streams are really part of your universal unified brand? Some will be and some won't be, possibly. Maybe they all are. Others are going to be, perfectly aligned, and off you go. Now, what do I consider as alignment and non-alignment? It's something that I want to only bring in stuff into my brand that is going to make me money, that basically reflects and highlights everything else that I'm doing in my brand. Let me give you an example here. So if I did a VIP day for somebody, back in the day when I started doing VIP days, it was, 6 hours, 8 hours of work. And I was only charging, like about a decade ago, I was charging like $2,500 for a VIP day. And, I thought, oh, that's great. And I had a waiting list, right? Which was good. It was a good thing. But then I realized, well, I don't want a waiting list. Why should I tout having a waiting list? I want to and tell everybody, ooh, I'm so popular, I have a waiting list. That's stupid. That's just ego talking. So what I did was I just said, okay, I'm gonna raise my price, and I doubled it. Went to 5,000, and so that went on well for a few months, and then I got a waiting list on that. I'm like, oh, guess what? Time to raise the price again, so on and so forth. These days, my VIP days are $12,000, right? $12,000 VIP day, and we go down and dirty. I'm just giving you an example with my VIP day. I do about 30 VIP days a year, roughly. 30, 35, something like that. And so those VIP days are there, but during the VIP day, guess what happens? Yes, I'm giving them lots of strategic information and lots of, let's work this out. And then in a day, it's like, here's my plan for the next year or the next 6 months or whatever the goal is. And guess what's happening? I have built trust and I've built rapport, and I have been able to show other pieces in my ecosystem, including like, hey, you know what? You might be interested in licensing and certification, and the things I do with gamification apply to what you do. Client who's my VIP client, Does that make sense? So, or like, oh, you know what? I have a whole bunch of DFY services that can help you, implement the strategic plan that we have worked out on this VIP day. Well, that leads directly over here, and so on. So those are called deep positioning. You're positioning everything you do to lead into all the other things that you do, and it's like a zigzag pattern. There's not one linear piece. Like, oh, first you do this, and then you do this. It's per client, per customer. And it all depends on what they need. Some clients at our VIP days, they only need that, and they don't need anything else. Great. But they know about it. And I get a lot of referrals from them. For other people who need, licensing, or they need DFY, or they need their virtual coaching, or whatever it is they need. Okay? So I want to make sure we'll filter through things to see what are the pathways of connection between those income streams. If there is no direct income stream pathway of connection that is related to your brand, then we might put it on the back shelf until there becomes an evident pathway of connection. Does that make sense, Ann? Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back up. So again, that's the one-on-one. So we're going to walk through. It's customized for every single one. I do not have the only curriculum piece that I have with this is we're using the Metatron's Cube to really dial into massive intentions regarding one's business, especially the money and all the resources, people, places, things, and all those things that need to happen in order for your intention to just become a massive gravity well that just sucks everything in, in a good way, And so this one-on-one time with me, we map those out over 3 to 6 or even 9 sessions. And those that do the 9 sessions, I would say by session 5 or 6, they are already creating things because then they see it. Like I've taken the rose-colored glasses off and they see how everything connects. It's almost like, at the end of the movie Matrix when, Neo gets up from being shot and realizes, hey, I have control, right? That's what happens to people in this process is like, oh, I can see all the code now. It's not just happening around me and to me. I can see the code and now I can manipulate this code in real time in the space to get the desired results I'm looking for, including the income streams. It's not something so far out there, guys. And I want to make it accessible to you guys. I figured this out the hard way in a lot of different ways. And now I'm so glad I have this system because I use it too. And I want to make sure it's available to you guys to use it as well. And it takes some time to practice because we have been taught something very, 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 very different in society and in business, that it's hustle and hard and we got to go crush it and kill it. And it's like, no, we don't have to have that kind of energy in order to make lots of money, change lots of people's lives, and be the destiny for somebody on this planet. Be able to bring our own destiny and say, like, here I am. I don't have to convince you of anything. I don't have to perform. I don't have to, put on a facade. I'm just here. I'm just Dan. I used to have this, we used to play ping pong a lot. I'm really, that's one of my, side note Jeopardy questions about me is I'm really, really good at ping pong. And we used to play all the time. I used to compete at local levels and stuff like that too. Anyway, playing ping pong. But from time to time, I'd lose. I'd be playing against people who are good, and sometimes I'd beat them. They'd beat me. I mean, back and forth. All depends on the day, right? And the people I'd play against, they were really, really competitive. Like, I won, yeah. Okay, nothing wrong with being competitive. I have some fun. But then they would start really getting over the top competitive. You know what I'm talking about. And they would get in your face and that type of thing. And I would just turn to them. And I would say one thing, and it would shut them up because they didn't know how to respond to it. And I would just turn to them, and after I would lose a match, I'd say, you know what? Win or lose, I'm still Dan. Win or lose, I'm still Dan. I'm still me. And they didn't know what that was because their identity was wrapped up in the hustle, that exhilaration, that adrenaline, and they needed that in order to feel like they were successful, or they felt like they were better or whatever was going on with them. And I realized this is the same kind of energy that's in a lot of business to. And that's something that always bugged me. So win or lose, I'm still Dan, and I don't need to convince anybody of anything. And I can tell you, I've found the streams of income that work for me. Not that somebody else told me I needed to do. I mean, I like online courses, but you may hate them, and that's great. That's awesome. Then we'll do something else. We'll do something that makes you smile every time you think about it. That is an income stream that is worth having in your Metatron scoop. Cool. Let's see here. Love the graphic. Awesome. Thank you for that. It does make sense. And some of my streams would be totally me branded, and others would be generic if they can run on their own for the most part. Okay. And we could talk about that. Generic could be something like, I'd like to push those more towards white label. Like if you've got a system or a plan that is, you say generic streams that are like basic, well, why don't you create a system where other people can do that exact same generic thing? Maybe not just for you, but also with their own stuff, and white label the process in which to get to it. Yeah. So everything, by the way, I'll do the slides one last time here. Now that you're making me think of this. Okay. So everything in mind right now, everything I can use to teach people. Okay. So let's say the live virtual coaching or the training, both of those could fit in this category. I don't know what I'm going to teach people. Well, guess what? I can teach people how to do excellent VIP days and get paid a lot of money for them. That could be one. That could be a virtual training. That could be virtual coaching, one-to-one. I could also teach people how to create awesome kick-ass online courses that make them money. Oh, gee. And what if I had a certification on how to license and certification, right? I could teach people how to license and certify their stuff. Now, other people know how to do that too, but I could teach that. Also, I could teach people how to create suites of DFY services or even DIY services. I could teach people how to structure that. So hopefully you're following me in this, and some of you're looking at them as generic. Those generic income streams, might be an even more lucrative income stream if you taught people how to generate income in those generic areas. Does that make sense? Hopefully that does. And Alex says, win or lose, I'm still Dan. Love that. Thank you guys. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. And I hope that, hopefully you got some ideas sparking with you too. If you want to bounce off more ideas, if it's, obviously Facebook related or, want to bounce something off me, I'm totally accessible that way. If you want to go deeper, you can click that link that's in the text chat there, and you'll get it too in your emails as well. Hopefully you're doing awesome. Hopefully this was invigorated you today. It invigorated me. It always gets me all jazzed up when I'm able to do a training like this and share with you some cool information that could take you to the next level if you choose to do so. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out here. If there's no more other questions, I'll wait a minute or so. I'll wait a minute. If there's any other questions, pop them in here, or if you want to shoot me private messages and you don't want to put them public, that's okay too. All right, guys. Well, as always, blessings to you. Be blessed. Be a blessing, though. And in that process, you're going to see a lot more clarity as you move through whether it's you call it your destiny, your calling, your contribution, how you participate, all these terms that are out there. It really comes down to, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel like I am part of the whole? I'm making a difference. Whatever that is, whatever creates that feeling within you, do that. Please do that. And if you need help in strategizing and structuring how you express that to other people for them to jump on and pay you money to teach them how to do it, you can talk to me about that too. All right, guys. Blessings to you all. Take care. Bye-bye now.